wants to ever go to a museum of boring things. That's why today we're taking you to the Museum of Interesting Things. Let me preface this one by saying the museum isn't the apartment I'm about to show you, and this isn't a person who hoards things. It's all really about education. What exactly you do?
So I'm Denny Daniel. I curate the Museum of Interesting Things.
And this is one interesting concept. Denny Daniel, who is a true New York character, curates this traveling museum which pops up all over the city.
How many items would you say you have?
There's a couple of thousand.
A couple of thousand of items. Where do you keep them all?
Right here under you.
And so this is Daniel's apartment.
It looks like organized chaos.
You would think. And it is an organized kind of chaos.
Which really doubles as a storage room of sorts for the museum that does serve a purpose.
Oh my gosh, America Online!
Each item is a history lesson in itself.
So this here is a moviola.
And then we can go way, way back to much simpler times. Way before iPods, CD players, radios.
You know, there's something about the way this sounds that's just really nice.
Isn't it? It's something still magical 120 years later.
This is 120 years old?
At least.
That's Thomas Edison's phonograph from the late 1800s. And if you ever wanted to see a movie in the early 1900s, you did it on what was called a mutoscope.
My goodness. What am I watching here?
You needed a quarter and one heck of an arm.
You take this quarter here, you put your quarter in there, you spin this clockwise, and today's movie is a trip to the moon.
And being that March is Women's History Month, Daniel curated a special exhibit to tell the story of the women's suffragist movement.
The suffragette movement had to do with all sorts of women's rights and freedoms.
So he gathered items from all over the country.
So this is a voting machine from the suffragette era.
Some dating back to the late 1800s to tell this important chapter that changed the course of history.
I have the poll books from 1920.
Oh, wow.
So this tells you in this county, and you notice it says men voters because they hadn't even changed the books yet. It happened so quickly.
Now, what was your fascination with wanting to tell the women's suffragist story?
I thought it was a very magical and beautiful story.
It is a beautiful story, and Denny Daniel has a lot of stories to tell. In fact, his travel museum with the suffragette exhibit headed to a Manhattan speakeasy at the end of this month.